So in this modern day of technology, there's a whole bunch of people online that are watching this. So I want to say hello to all those people out there, and hello to everybody. Welcome to New York. Big day for us, really, really big day. So I didn't know where to start, so we're really excited. It's like being pregnant for almost 24 months. So it's huge that we're here today. We're coming off a wonderful feeling. The energy is high in New York. I mean, Chrysler, sales up 34%. Best first quarter since 2008. So really the company is on a high.
Yeah.
Yes. The timing is good. So I want to talk a little bit about what SRT is all about. So obviously our contribution to the bottom line of Chrysler is roughly 20,000 units per year. So it's obviously an object of passion. But what's cool about SRT is that we bring a lot of people that otherwise wouldn't have considered our brands at all coming into the brand through our products. So we're very excited that we're able to offer that kind of antenna, that funnel into the group's dealerships and showrooms. But what we're realizing is that we're starting to see, especially the Grand Cherokee SRT, we're seeing customers we've never seen before. People from different brands turning in some pretty nice product and taking a try, and they're loving what they're getting. So we're going to continue that trend. So we believe the Viper really is the flagship of the brand. It always has been. Viper started it all back in 1992, 1993, and it became known as the SRT 10 Viper in 2003. So really SRT has been around about 10 years, and we formally made it a brand back in June. So the Viper right now is going to be known in the future as the SRT Viper, because it so represents what we're all about. Extreme performance, kind of its soul is ever present. It's willed on by the car guys inside the company for the car guys outside the company. And one thing I want to get it over with right away is that this vehicle was designed in Auburn Hills by Americans, and it'll be built in Detroit.
Yeah.
However, we did consult with our friends from Ferrari and Maserati because they're awesome at building beautiful low-volume product. We were building the old car's interior as if it was a mass production vehicle, which did afford us some luxury. So now we're working with the same suppliers that supplies Ferrari in terms of the seats and some of the leathers. So we've learned a lot about low-volume products. It's really made it a lot easier to give the Viper that extra bit of magic it never really had. The other thing I want to talk about, and there's a lot of them here today, Viper owners. We call them Viper Nation. They have been emailing me and mailing me and accosting me practically to say, is this Viper going to come back? As you know, a few years ago, it was almost sold off. It was a tragic day, during the wonderful three-headed dog era. I'm not going to talk about that too much. But they actually tried to sell the brand off. And I'll never forget, having that discussion with Sergio. He goes, we don't sell one of our own. Right? So he wanted it to come back, and that's why we're doing it. Sometimes I'm not so sure if the Viper Nation loves the car more than we do, or we love the car. So we're doing it for them. We're also excited to bring the car to a whole new generation of people. The other people that I respect a lot is the Buff Books. So we have this wonderful relationship with them. The Viper's been on more than 100 covers of magazines in the last 20 years. It's really a favorite, and they have made the car the icon. They have put it on covers. We didn't ask for that. It just happens. And at this point in my life, when working on this car has been an absolute privilege. Realize the car is almost bigger than us. It's really something that belongs to America. It's something that has battled the very best across the world. And that's how we treat it. It is an icon. So when we approach designing the car, it's not without a lot of heavy heart that we lay a pen on the styling of the Viper, whether it's interior or exterior. So we really respect what the car is all about. And the other people that have been helping me is the online community. We've been working really hard to keep this car a secret until today, and it's been good. We haven't leaked anything other than some wonderful creative work for some people that are very talented online. And our friends at Hot Wheels, so many of you have seen this little car. I made its debut a little too early, but it's okay. But we love it. We love the fact that, that's my wife, thank you, honey. We love the fact that so many people have been anticipating this car, and it's really an honor. As much as it's been annoying to watch, it's been cool to see the car imagined online. So what we've decided to do with the Viper, with all that I've told you, is evolve the car deliberately. We're really respectful of what it's come to mean to people, what it means to the enthusiasts that may never own one, and even that kid that plays with the video game somewhere. So we evolved it in every way. So we'll get into that in a second here. The other thing I say sometimes, I'll never forget, there's one of our management team members that's not here with us today that I think about all the time. When the program was approved, he leaned into the microphone. It was approved in record time, and a lot of the management team is here that voted on the project. And one of our team members, Dan Knott, who's very special to us, he leaned into the microphone. He said, "Today, we're a car company again." So we know the car's going to make a little bit of money, but it's not going to matter to the bottom line of the company. It's the fact that it shows that we still have a soul at Chrysler. So it's a soul survivor in that the car itself is still here, but it's also, in a way, a symbol of what the company's capable of when it puts its mind to it. So let's talk about the soul of the Viper. Really, we did look at some platforms from Italy, I'll be honest with you, but the proportions weren't exactly what we were looking for, so we decided to kind of stick with what we have. So we took the current frame, completely re-engineered it. It's all high-strength steel. We used some computational dynamics that we didn't have 10 years ago when we did the last Viper. So the vehicle is much more efficient the way we use it. We brought back the magnesium beam. We've integrated it in such a way that it really does stiffen the platform. And we've been racing a long time. The Viper's been raced almost since the day it was brought, and we've used that technology now. The X-Brace combines with the new frame to create a 50% stiffer body. And anyone who races knows that once you have a stiff platform, it's limitless what you can do. You can really tune the suspension and let the suspension do its work. So that the Viper's now 50% stiffer. The engine is also a huge contributor to the weight savings. So we really focused on weight. The engine itself is 28 pounds lighter, and it's also more powerful, so that contributes to the vehicle. We have some of the lightest forged wheels ever done. We'll have 3 versions of the wheels available in 7 different ways. So 7 part numbers for wheels, really making it customizable. And wrapped around those wheels is a brand new relationship with Pirelli. The vehicle will be shod with Pirelli tires, 355 in the back, the widest we've ever had, and 295 in the front. So this thing sinks its claws into the ground and sticks like glue. And I really hats off to Pirelli. They really worked with us, so much so that we have a unique compound front to back. That's how dedicated they were to make sure the car really handles properly. The exterior of the car, we've used, the Viper's always been a place to experiment with technology. So for the first time, we used superformed aluminum on the sills and the doors. You could not normally get those draws with regular stamping. This is a heated process, allowing us some amazing forms. And we've also learned from racing carbon fiber. The body is mostly carbon fiber, the hood, the roof, the deck. What's that done for us? It's taken a lot of weight out of the car. So overall, the car is, wait a minute, there's one slide, there it is. 32% lighter just in the body alone, and you can see the percentages up there. So a lot of focus on weight savings. Next, the owners told us, if you don't put a clamshell hood on this car, we're not going to talk to you anymore, right? So we brought back the clamshell hood, and the underhood is beautiful. We really spent a lot of time working on it. The designers were actually working with the engineers to make the underhood beautiful, because that's why. Power. So we upped the horsepower by 40 horsepower, even though the engine's lighter and more efficient. We have a composite intake manifold, which flows a lot better. Total 640 horsepower. But everybody who's driven a Viper knows it's all about torque. So the torque is up considerably, another 40 pounds. But look at the curve, how early the torque comes on. So this car makes more torque at idle than most cars make at full RPM. And the Viper is now the highest torque output vehicle of any naturally aspirated engine in the world. This thing is a torque monster, right? So of course, power is nothing without control, if I should borrow something from our friends. One thing I want to talk about is weight. So the vehicle got a lot lighter, so roughly 100 pounds, actually exactly 100 pounds lighter than the outgoing model. So I do a little math. We also have added something called the track pack, taken another 57 pounds out of the vehicles for a possible curb weight of 3297. So it's the lightest Viper ever. So you combine that, you combine that with the horsepower, we end up with a 5.15 pounds per horsepower. Now some of our friends in supercar world calculate horsepower to ratio a little differently. So we actually went and used what a lot of our European friends use called dry weight. And if you calculate dry weight, we're at 4.9 pounds per horsepower. And look at where that puts the Viper. We are third only to some of the fastest cars in the world. Of course, the Ferrari had to be faster, we understand that. But we're ahead of the Lamborghini and our friends Corvette and even the Porsche. So the Viper is truly one of the fastest cars in the world. So one of the challenges with all that power is controlling it. This is probably what the Viper's known for, is this, right? So a lot of, it's really easy to make smoke with the Viper. What all all this new technology added, we've been able to add launch control to the Viper. So the first time ever, Viper will have launch control. You push the button, floor the gas, lift the clutch, it does the rest. So you can have repeatable, absolute 0 to 60 times. And if you notice, stability control is there, so if you want to switch it off, you can. We'll talk about it in a bit. And we've added cruise control. The Viper owners have finally said it's okay to add cruise control. We've been having this fight for almost 15 years. So we have cruise control, damn it. Is that okay? Get over yourselves. The other thing about this company, we're pretty resourceful, right? So this car shares a few parts. The Dodge Dart cluster was exercised. It's in the Viper, but it's configured especially for the Viper. So you can control all kinds of amazing things with this thing. So you see that beautiful steering wheel, nice chunky steering wheel. So if you don't like launch control and stability control, and you're a hardcore kind of person, you flip the switch, you can disable all that stuff. We have multi-mode, 4 stages of stability control for that person who really wants to just play like the hardcore guy likes to play, all right? So there's traction control, there's rate optimization. We also have something new for the Viper, and that is adjustable suspension. On the GTS model, we have 2-mode adjustable suspension. Again, all fingertip controlled, and also push button on the dash. This thing is incredible, so I'm just going to show you a few things it can do. Most cars have shift lights, we have a shift snake. So the whole thing turns red when you're beating that car a little too much, right? So look at all it can do. Pay attention to the screen, it's just incredible. So I didn't want to go through all of it, but you can see the screen, really a 7-inch TFT screen opens up all kinds of possibilities. So you take that, you take the corporation's best infotainment technology, and we have it in the center stack of the vehicle. A lot of great things we can do. Again, custom made for the Viper. Now, I like to call the interior of the new Viper the executive performance driver's office. We really took everything that we learned in the last 3 to 4 years about interiors and put it in this car. The fit and finish, quality, attention to detail, the wrapping, everything you touch on the vehicles. Our staff really went nuts. Hats off to Klaus Bousse's team and Tomei, who really sweat the details. If you look at the vehicle, we learned a lot. You know, they hurt our feelings when we talked to some of the owners of other cars and said, we want you guys to step it up. And I think we did. So I hope you'll agree when you finally see the car. We didn't leave any stone unturned when it comes to interior quality. And one of my favorite things of the car, one of the parts we actually did share with Ferrari, is the seat. The seat comes from Sawbelt, the same supplier as Ferrari, that allowed us to increase interior space by 90 millimeters. So now a guy who's 6'5", 6'7" can comfortably get in the car and drive. That was one of the biggest complaints of the Viper, right? The other thing we've done is a big trend in this world now is customization. The Viper interior can be had in a multitude of ways. So if you look at the screen, you'll see, this is just the beginning, right? But just to show you how it can be had any way you want. Again, with these wrapped materials, we can change the vehicle. We have a premium leather package, you'll see, all there. It'll be on display tomorrow at the auto show. A lot of great ways that you can have the car, truly making it custom. And I love this money shot, okay? Brace yourselves. This is my favorite slide of the whole thing. Look at that. I mean, who would have thunk it, right? It used to be known as a bit of a kid car. It was a bit of a joke in the supercar community. Now we want people to get in the car and just make excuses to drive somewhere. So I want to talk, now it's time to kind of get to the brass tacks here. And I'll never forget the day we approved this program. And Sergio's a pragmatic guy. And our management team, we really think about things deeply. But I'll never forget when he talked to the dealer community a few years ago now. He talked to the dealer body, and he couldn't wait to show them the Viper. And I'm just going to let you, this is an excerpt from what he said. It was a much longer speech, but I pulled away a few comments. And it tells you a lot about who the man is and who we are as a company. So I'm going to let you read this, okay? Take care.